Yeah. Okay. Up to you.
Boom. Live time. We're meat maxing, baby. Right here. Tony, before we get into cooking our dry brine steak, how to cook the perfect dry brine, what's going on over here? We've got a mountain of chuck steaks. What's this all about?
We are doing the world's first meat maxing experiment. That's gonna be 7 days of beef only for Tony Mastroni. With that, we're expecting, or at least I've been told, that meat only can simulate the effects of anabolic steroids if you're eating upwards of 3 pounds of beef per day. So that's exactly what I'll be doing. When I post this, I'll flash all the potential benefits on the screen there. But this is gonna be the world's first meat maxing experiment. So please follow along if you wanna witness Operation Beefcake over the next 7 days.
Look out, baby. Love it. Love it. Well, at Beef Bootlegger, we're all about meat maxing. That's what we do. So we're gonna bag these bad boys up.
One more time.
We're gonna bag these bad boys up right here.
Yep, beautiful. And also, one thing I wanted to mention as well was we didn't just cut costs on the beef here. These are actually, we're working with an award-winning beef company now, right?
Oh yeah, best steak in the nation right here. So we won best steak in the nation. Here we go, my pleasure, Tony.
Thank you.
At Meatstock in Tennessee, prestigious award. All of the biggest carnivore influencers, names, the doctors that know the most about eating great steak all the time. By the way, they meat max for years. So all they eat is meat. They voted us best steak. It was prime New York strip. And we're rolling with it. We already know we got the best tasting steak. That's why we're in business. And we're gonna do the dry brine perfect cook ribeye. So we're even taking the best tasting steak and we're making it taste even better.
Yep, that's right. We are meat maxing with the best steak in the nation. And from here on out, everything will be served on my new Beef Bootlegger cutting board that I'm very grateful for.
There we go. We had a little cutting board controversy. So we're gonna end that. These are great cutting boards, by the way, so I've made a bunch of those, and anyone who gets a giant steak box, beef stews, curated cuts at beefbootlegger.com is gonna get a free cutting board. So get over to the website, buy some beef, let's go. Also, Father's Day, gifting. Father's Day's coming up, let's get a box to the old man. I know you love him. All right, cooking the perfect ribeye. Tony,
yes,
right
sir.
here, we dry brine this bad boy since 7 a.m. this morning. A little trouble with the one that we were doing last night.
12 hours is gonna be plenty for your dry brine. Should already have sucked those juices out of the steak and gone back in with all that flavor that you have on there. What did you season it with for the dry brine?
So we have a luxury salt partner out of St. Pete, Florida pure sea salt right here. So I took this garlic salt and liberally put it all over there. Also, just a little bit of technique. I pressed it down before the flip. The first time I did it, a lot of the salt came down on the pan. So if you're doing it, press it in, then do the flip, or you're gonna lose half your salt.
You wanna be very generous with the salt.
Gotta be very generous. And what I noticed is it sort of accelerates the aging process. Okay, now last night I felt that it cooked way quicker. I'd never done a dry brine before, so this is the second time, so we'll find out. We're also gonna cook on a cast iron. We've used this stove before. Tony, what's the longest you've ever left a steak in the fridge for with the salt on it?
I would do up to 3 days. Anything past that, you're gonna get that layer of, it's gonna get real thick. I think it's called pemmican, I wanna say.
Oh man, look at that. Well, look that one up. Pemmican, never heard of it.
That can get a little gross, but 2-3 days, you're gonna get
What is it, like slimy? What's
No,
pemmican?
it's really hard. It gets
Interesting.
really hard, but 2-3 days, you're gonna get the best crust and the best flavor. I do it for a few days in a lot of cases. I'll take 3 of these guys out, dry brine one for one day, leave the other one in for the next day, and then I don't have to worry about it for a few days.
Love that. I also learned something new today talking to one of my distributors. Now this was more of a Wagyu conversation, but we were talking about bone in. Turns out if you're not freezing the steaks, the bone can actually turn sour. So you want to eat a bone-in ribeye within 1 week of your purchase. Now we get this stuff super fresh. Maybe it's a little bit more than that. I would think at your regular supermarket it would be even less than that. But bone sour out there in the wild. I'm gonna turn on the stove right here.
Dude, do you have a knife sponsor yet? Because these are beautiful knives.
Thank you. This is Cutlux. We were doing a little bit of Amazon work on that. We need to get that fired up again. All right, we're going cast iron. We're here. I guess let's.
For all the beginners, what is a brine?
So a brine is when you layer salt on the steak and you let it air dry. You could leave it out or you put it in the fridge, but the point is you got to give it some room to breathe. And you let the salt soak in, like Tony said, and then the moisture is going to come out. And so moisture when you're cooking a steak is the enemy. So that's why you're always patting your steaks dry before you cook. And we've got the best cooking surface right here, our cast iron. We're in the kitchen. I was looking for a bigger one. This one will fit, just barely. Perfect. We're going to get it in there.
What do we have in the way of fats to cook it in? That's the question.
Well, we don't need any fats. What I think we're going to do is we're going to use its own fat. We're going to use its own fat right here. Now, I'm just looking. I might come back in 1 second because all of my tongs are next door, and I'm not seeing
honestly,
any.
We don't
Oh,
even
hold
need
on.
them.
We got them all over here. We
got
got a whole rack.
Oh,
here we go. Look what's going on over here. Who needs tongs, right? I'm in a professional kitchen right here. We'll get two. We'll get one for me, one for Tony. Boom. We're at Florida Chef's Workshop, St. Pete.
Beautiful.
All right, so do we want to pat this thing down, Tony? What do you think?
Yeah, go for it. We're going to monitor the heat over here because this
Okay.
thing's probably already getting hot. Yeah, it is.
Okay, good.
This
We got.
thing-
Tell
this
us
thing
about
gets
that
kicking
3-second
fast.
rule. Do you know about the 3-second rule?
What, 3 seconds of your hand before?
Yeah.
it's
So
hot enough?
tell us about the 3-second rule.
You tell us about it. You're the expert on that one.
Okay, so a very, very pro executive chef that helped us cook, Greg, he talked about the 3-second rule. If you can hold your hand above it for about 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, before it gets too hot. We could probably go a little bit more, but if you can't, then you're not hot enough. So.
I'm really interested in the cooking it in its own fat because I always am adding some beef bootlegger tallow to my steaks.
There we go.
I'm really interested to see how this does without any tallow.
So I am going to prep this right here. We're going to use that little nobule of fat and that one, and we're going to get rolling.
Love it.
All right, so Fitzy, can you get over here? All right, let's listen. Oh yeah, there we go.
There we go.
That is a good little fat cap there.
So we're just going to let that go for a minute. And that's kind of pro tip on these ribeyes.
Look at that. It gets a nice little
Here,
layer
come in
of
here,
fat
Fitz.
there
Can you
too.
get in there?
Well lubricated.
Are you able to see that?
Yeah.
So we've lubricated our pan. We also want to brown it a little bit.
Get a nice little flavor on the side there, pro tip.
Now I'm thinking we're going to go 3 minutes on each side. That's it. What do you think? Medium rare?
I'm with you. Let's do it.
All right. That thing's down. Now the other thing I messed up, I didn't press it down. So you want to make sure all of the steak on that bottom side is making good contact with the pan. Otherwise it's going to curl on you.
I'm excited for this guy. The bone in, always a little more juicy, a little more tender. You know what it is about being on the bone that makes it a little juicier?
Well, I used to think it didn't matter that much. Now I think it does. Check your watch, because I don't wear one.
I got you. 17.
All right,
17
so we're going to do, we'll do,
Talk about that. How long should the steak take?
well, it depends. It depends on your pan and all of that. Last night I was using a Hexclad, which is one of those space age ones, and it heats up quicker and it cooks quicker. That's possibly how I burned it, because normally I'm using a cast iron. I didn't, but cast iron is the best. It's also the healthiest, so that's kind of the gold standard. When we're here doing live streams, we got to stick with the gold, baby.
Absolutely. I'm excited over the next 7 days to prepare my meat in all different ways to keep things spiced up for me, so I don't get tired of just eating steaks.
What was the pan that you were using last time?
I was using a ceramic pan in that video that I posted.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, that gets me a beautiful, even sear. The ceramic doesn't have those Teflon chemicals and everything on it.
Yeah, don't
and
want
it
any of
heats
that.
up and cools down way faster. And I know cast iron's obviously very easy to clean, but that ceramic pan, don't sleep on it. Only like $20 on Amazon too.
Now,
There's some good cheap ones.
At our carnivore conference, what was the guy saying? Carbon steel? Carbon?
Fiber or something like that.
So there's some carbon steel. is apparently the best of both worlds. It's a non-stick, and then it has the heat holding the temp. The other thing that's great about a cast iron is it holds the temperature. So in Florida, all of the apartments, all of the boats, they all have electric stoves. Okay, they're a nightmare because it doesn't hold the heat. It fluctuates up, down, and it doesn't keep a solid temperature. So your cast iron, you're going to get it to the right temp, and it's going to hold. So this is also a hack in an electric stove situation.
And I mean, this thing's got some serious juices coming off of it. The fat, there's a little puddle forming there.
Here we go.
The fat rendering down a little bit. Look at that in the back corner over there.
There we go.
We are lubed up from its own fats. That is a beauty.
So I'm actually going to sneak a look because I burned it last time.
We've got about another minute or so.
Yeah, I
and,
think we're just
according to the watch.
Taking a look.
Ooh, getting excited.
What do you
That's
think?
a good sear.
I think that's
it's a
flip.
beautiful sear. It is definitely a beautiful sear. I'd press her down on that side
We're
too.
just going to press her down, right? So I got.
Light here?
Do I have a light? There is a light somewhere. I don't know how to turn it on.
There we go.
And I'm a big fan these days. I never used to let it rest. I'm a big fan these days of pouring those juices back on
We're
it
definitely going to be doing that.
and letting it rest so that it can cook a little bit more. We'll pull it a little bit early and then let it suck all those juices back in. That is the stuff.
I think the hypothesis of the quicker cook on the dry brine is playing out right here. We're going to find out how good we got it, but
I would agree.
that is a perfect crust, and had I let it go a little bit longer, we would have overdone it. I did 4 minutes, and I set my timer, and I went to go do a couple rows of the books, the Beef Bootlegger books, came back 4 minutes, fucked the whole thing up, burned it to hell. So for the dry briners, cooks quick, I would say 3 minutes or less. We probably just did 2 minutes on that side.
Yeah, we're 1 minute in on this side. And again, I mean, I could eat this for every single meal, every single day. For the sake of fun, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit, get creative with how I prepare my steaks. But I mean, this is I get excited for it every time.
This is prime bone-in ribeye. This is a $70 steak with the Beef Bootlegger VIP or a subscription. You get 10% off. But this is as good as it gets.
Where do you get it though?
You get it at beefbootlegger.com. That's it. Subscribe and save. We're also redoing the website, so in about a week or two, it's going to have a whole new look and feel. It's amazing. My boy Jake right now, we're having a call tonight. We're just putting in the luxury boxes. So we got higher price points to go all the way up to $11.50, and we ship it to California. Shipping can be quite expensive from Florida. So we're going from $300 to $1,200 boxes, basically $300 increments all the way up.
Speaking of $300 boxes, really quick before we pull this, you want to talk about what I'm eating?
So we're doing a special Tony Mastroni link with the Chuck Eye Steaks. We're doing 30 38-ounce steaks for $300 free shipping nationwide. Boom. That's $10 a steak, all in.
That's exactly what I'll be eating for every meal for the next 7 days is those exact steaks.
Love it.
And I think we're right at the pull time. Well, there's the
Oh man, there we go. Look at that.
Right on
just
time.
in time, baby. Look at this, Fitz.
Yeah, you just need like a little bit of fire.
You just need a little fire, a little smoke. So let's take a look at the other side. I think we hammered that one perfect.
I think we're beautiful.
And
Now-
Tony's gonna pour the juice on.
Oh yeah, we're not. This is liquid gold right here, and we didn't add anything.
Come
to
get
this.
a close up over the top, Fitzy.
We didn't add any fats to this cook. We didn't add any
Look at that
tallow.
sizzle, baby.
That's all the fats from the steak that came out on its own.
That's it.
Woo!
Now you always gotta let a steak rest. There's always controversy. How we doing?
We're good. I would give it probably 4 or 5 minutes, about as long as we let it cook for.
That's it. So as long as you let it cook. Now, if you cooked it for 10 minutes, I'm not really a 10-minute rest kind of guy, but 3 or 4 minutes right here.
Why do you want to do like the time?
Why do we cook it quick? Okay, so different kitchens cook things differently, different utensils cook things differently. What we're paying close attention to is the sear. So the perfect steak, it's all about the crust. You got to get your crustology right. Crustology 101. Now we put all that juice on it, but you want to hear it like burnt toast. I don't know, we can get that. Okay, so
I'm hearing it.
So that's the magic. You want to hear that. So that's perfect crustology. So we got there quicker than we thought. If I hadn't burnt the steak I did last night, we probably would have overdone this because I wasn't anticipating this to cook in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
We thought 3.
That was a quick flash.
So it was a quick flash. Now this would be pretty rare on the inside, but it's going to taste amazing.
That's why we're letting it rest though, because when I was sitting there resting, it's all going to even out a little bit temperature-wise. So the outside right now is super, super piping hot. The inside, coming from both angles, it's going to bring that heat in while it's sitting here resting. If you cut into it right away, that thing would have been raw. But when we cut into it now, it should be a perfect medium rare.
The other bit about cutting into it too quick, just the process of heating anything, the molecules are moving around and they're rapidly moving. That's what heat is all about, fast moving molecules. If you don't let it rest, you cut that steak, all the juices and the flavor are going to just pour out. So your cutting board is going to get a treat, but you won't benefit from all of those flavors. So the proper rest, it's just letting all of that stuff, like Tony said, move towards the center, and that process slows them down a little bit, and we're going to keep all the juices in it.
Okay, what we're doing with the seasoning on the steak, like, do we do anything to it?
Oh man, so I'll tell you what, I actually have a special finishing salt. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I got a new one for you guys.
Yeah, you gotta stay here.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, come on, bro. Where's the sweet potato fries? We got that going.
Today's day 1 of meat only. Come on, are you paying attention?
Okay, another guy's like, let's fillet, guys. Okay. So, Tony, what's your favorite steak and why?
So this bone and ribeye is going to be absolutely killer. It's really hard to compete with that. But there's a reason that we do the chuck eye steaks specifically. It's what I've eaten every single day since I started cutting weight, since I got really into fitness. I lost 70 pounds last year eating chuck eyes because they are the perfect combination. It sits right between the ribeye and the brisket on the cow. So it's a super tender cut. It's got great marbling. Part of it is gonna really be like a brisket and the other side is gonna be really like that really juicy part of the ribeye. So can't beat it. And they're a little bit cheaper, like he said.
It's a great value place. So it's actually between a third and a half the price of ribeye. Prices move. Our ribeyes are going for $40 a pound, okay? And with the shipping and everything, you're at $20 a pound with the 2 steaks. It's about half the price of a ribeye. Certainly all of the same macros. A little bit leaner, I would say. A little bit leaner.
Yeah, part of it.
Check this out. So this is Beef Bootlegger Private Stash, okay? So I got introduced, I'm not wearing my glasses, Herb de Provence from Florida Pure Sea Salt. This is my personal favorite. So we're gonna be carrying this. It only comes in this little jar, okay? Look how much I've gone through. So I brought this for the gang to try right now. The other thing we like to do, I call it finishing salt. So we do the flavored salts, the garlic. There's a pure sea salt that's more flaky crystals, so they're a little bit more of like a salty explosion in your mouth as you get to them, so it adds texture to the finishing. And this one right here is flavor plus that coarse texture. So
Beautiful.
I think is it time to cut into this thing?
It is right on time.
All right, beautiful. I'm gonna do the honors, Tony.
Yeah, get that bone
All right, here
off
we
first.
go. We're gonna extract the bone.
I will be chewing on that bone after.
This is a little bit of a peek right here. We don't want to jump the shark quite yet, but I think we have the perfect cook here.
Oh my
Great
goodness.
to call him, my man. What do we got going on here?
All right, so here we go.
Holy cow.
These are all going to be big bites for big grown-ups right here.
Oh my goodness.
Now, the whole thing with Beef Bootlegger is really to share this experience. These steaks are so good. The taste is so special, so unique in a good way. Best in the nation, possibly best in the world. So we met an Australian gal. She says it's better than the highest end steak joints in Sydney, Melbourne. I was born there.
Perfect.
So here we go. Let's get the steak pouring going here, Fitzy.
That is
All right, we always open that thing up.
unbelievable.
And that's perfect right here. So we're almost ready to roll. We're gonna
Chomping at the bit.
We're gonna do a little bit of razzle dazzle right here.
Little Salt Bay action.
Little Salt Bay right here, okay? You gotta get the right angle. We're getting the right angle right here. And what I like to do is we put a little bit here in the corner. So if anyone wants to do a little dip,
A little extra
there's a
dip.
little community. It's a community pot right there. Okay. Tony, you're the guest here in the kitchen. You get to pick your piece.
I mean, you knew I was going for this one right away.
I did. I'm
Get
gonna
a little dip.
There we go. All right. Well, cheers, buddy.
Cheers, brother.
To meat maxing.
To meat maxing.
Oh man, is that best ever? It's up there.
That is the best steak in the nation. There's no doubt in my mind.
What do you think about the brine? So do you feel like that garlic salt, you've had it before, that kind of infused itself into the meat?
You definitely taste it throughout, even on the ones that I didn't dip in the salt here.
Right. And what do you think about this finishing salt?
Give me this fat guy right here.
Yeah.
The finishing salt's awesome. That's a different flavor. I have the black garlic from them that I got actually at a recent market. That's a different flavor.
All right. So, Rachel, you want to come in? You want to try a bite of this?
Yeah.
Come on in. Come have a bite. And tell your husband what you think of this steak. You need to
That
bite
is
that
so
big, or do you need to
awesome.
cut it in half? You want to go savage? Alright, girl.
Stevie want two.
I got one. Hold on. You're going to come over here, Fitz. You're going to trade it. Oh, hold on. No. Rachel. Oh, we needed to get the reaction. Come on, Fitz. Tell us what you think. Rate that bite 1 out of 10.
Salt brine?
Salt
Definitely way different. Way different than a regular ribeye.
You ate our award-winning steak. What do you think? Do you like it with the flavor add-on, or do you like it more by itself?
So here's the thing. When we won the award the day before, I think, they smoked it. I was not a big fan of smoked steak.
Yeah, that was very overbearing, I think, with the flavor that
The
we had.
brine changes everything, like about the consistency, flavor too. So I actually prefer the original OG way.
So you would just do it regular.
I mean, you can't beat the cast iron. Every time I move away from the cast iron, I come back.
How do you describe the flavor in your words?
The one thing, if you go to the grocery store and get a steak, it's not as beefy as a bootlegger steak.
100%.
It is so much beefier. It's got that real umami flavor, even when you're not adding tallow to it. It's like almost indescribable what the flavor is until you taste it.
Until you taste it. It's if God put the flavor of proper, amazing beef, the way God intended mankind to taste it, into the meat, that's the flavor that you get. So I do feel like the beef is such good quality. All of the stuff that we did is unnecessary. However, it's still amazing. It's different, but it's not necessary. Where if you bought supermarket beef, you bought pedestrian steaks, even like peasant beef, that you would have to do these type of techniques to just raise it into something that was good. So you're taking a very average pedestrian, hopefully good steak, and making it better. This is better than a great steak already to begin with, so it doesn't really need anything. If it's already perfect, you're not gonna make it more perfect. We just made it different and still perfect.
Agreed.
But differently perfect.
Meat the way God intended, beef bootlegger.
That's it. Praise the Lord. This is a pretty damn good steak. Also, I think though, the brine helped us cook. So if you look into,
There's hardly any gray band.
so there's very little gray band. We've got our crust and we got the perfect medium in the middle. I guess I gotta put it down. So that's the other thing, is we certainly cooked it perfectly.
Incredible. I've been looking for an excuse to do beef only. Trust me,
You got one now. It's great.
it's perfect.
Would you do anything different the way we cooked it?
No, I mean this is perfect. You can tell too, nice high quality pan. Cooking it on a crappy pan, it's going to be a totally different experience.
Yep.
This was perfect through and through.
I'm hooked. I fasted all day, so I'm ready to devour this thing.
Yeah, I mean we're messing this thing up. We're gonna get the Fitzies back in here, or are we crushing this?
Well, you guys crush it.
All right.
Don't have to tell me twice.
All right, cheers. Cheers,
I
buddy.
offered.
Put
Cheers.
the beats together, my man.
Boom.
Putting meat together the way God intended.
That's it. That's the tagline.
No.
Let's eat, baby. We do this all day. By the way, we cooked this steak all the way in 10 minutes. Less than 3 minutes on each side, 4-minute rest. So anyone who's thinking fast food or steak's hard to cook,
Yeah. Eat your heart out, meal preppers.
that's it. Meal preppers, whatever. We gotta wash this cutting board. We gotta wipe out a pan. That's it. Done. Clean up's a breeze.
So what do you can do with the bone?
It's good for dogs. I'd rather a dog ate this bone than ate my whole steak last night.
Kidding me? I'd chew that thing.
Here we go. This is pro
The best
move.
part.
So here, this part right here off of the bone, super flavorful. So here, we'll share this with the crew. So Fitzy, Rachel, come have a little bit of the this bone
What
bit.
do you drink? How do you call that? All the above.
Well, this is it's more tender. Now this is cooked, so it's a little bit more well done. Sometimes by the bone is rarer, like you see here. But this is a very flavorful bit, and we should try it right here. So
Yeah.
what you should do, you should not throw that away. You should claw the little bits off of it, eat it.
This is too valuable to be wasting any bit of this.
That's it. So you tell us what you think of this little last bit right here,
This
Fitzy.
one?
Yeah, anyone.
Go for it.
Yep.
It's
Rachel, you want a bite?
I like that bit the best. It's really good.
Yeah, it's tasty.
Tasty, flavorful.
It honestly is a totally different flavor as you get closer to the bone too.
Yeah. I used to think it didn't matter. It certainly matters. And there's more flavor. Also like the way the bone presents the steak. So when I'm doing gift boxes, I always put a bone-in ribeye. A year ago, I was boneless, didn't really care about bone-in, but now I'm always doing bone-in in every gift box I do. It's just a manlier steak. It holds its shape really well, and you just have this little trophy piece at the end. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's not too hard to get a nice even cook on it either. People get afraid of the bone in because they think it's gonna not cook as much. You let that thing rest, it's gonna even out throughout, especially when you've got the oil sitting in it, the meat, the juices sitting in it. All gonna even out. No problems with an uneven cook here.
Boom, boom, pow. And what'd you think of the finishing salt?
Like I said, that is a totally different flavor from the garlic salt. That is so good. So is that Beef Bootlegger exclusive?
We are working to partner and actually create our own brand. So these salts are the highest quality, which is where we like to live.
Local.
The highest quality. It's local. Maureen, who owns it, is like Woman Entrepreneur of the Year. And we really hit it off. And she's been nice enough, gracious enough to explore us doing our own salts. You know, our own branding and everything, but we would certainly cite her process and her sources to do the salt. The first one's probably just going to be the pure salt, and then we might add 1 or 2 flavors. We're experimenting with the names, how edgy we want to be.
And like you said, it's got a different texture too on some of them.
Yeah.
Like a good finishing salt.
That is exactly what it is. That's the finishing salt.
It sounds weird. I said it about the beef being beefier, but this salt is saltier. I don't know
So we
how
got
else
the
to
beefiest
describe
beef and we
it.
got the saltiest salt. That's it. To all you salt throwers out there throwing salt in the game, you want some of this.
Yeah, we're salt maxing, we're meat maxing.
That's it.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I think we're definitely in the zone. This is like alpha steak right here. So there's no Mickey Mousing around with this stuff. This kitchen's great. These cutting boards are great. And Craft 834 is who puts these cutting boards together. So we'll give him a shout out. Paul, thank you. And we'll be doing more of this, maybe once a week. And we're gonna start selling live, baby. So start looking for some live Beef Bootlegger.
I'm excited to get that going.
There we go.
Let's do it.
All right, Tony, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Boom, there we go.
Appreciate. I'm gonna be rocking that headband, looking like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. For
That's
the
it,
next
dude.
month.
I figured you know what to do with that thing. Awesome. Well, that's a wrap. So we'll see you soon. Beef Bootlegger. Let's eat. BeefBootlegger.com.
Sweet.
There you go.
Boom.
Hell yeah. That was freaking good.